All right, man. No, that's good.
No
So, I like that picture behind you.
Oh, I thought I put that up in honor of your hog hunt. You got coming up. We actually used thermals and night vision and suppressors on that one. That was in Texas.
Where's more at?
I believe that one was somewhere around Austin, south of Austin. I can't remember exactly where. Very cool. All right, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, Lead Heads. We are back with another episode of the Talking Lead Podcast. I'm your host, Lefty, bringing you all the great gun gear and other stuff that you want to know about. Maybe music, maybe movies, maybe it's just a picture of a rabbit. Who knows? I'll bring it to you. I was looking at a rabbit. That's what took me a minute to get back to the camera. When you joined, I was looking at my back door, and there was a rabbit, and he's by the pool. And I'm constantly having to fish rabbits out of the pool because they get chased in there by the critters that are out there. If it's a snake or it's a cat or a fox or something in our backyard. So I was just making sure that I wasn't going to have to fish him out before we got started. I'll check it. Remind me to check again when we get done. So
I'll do my best. Yeah, we have a lot of rabbits where we live too. It's usually a problem for the dogs more than anybody else.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't have dogs anymore, so they're, I think that's probably why the population has picked up in our backyard. Yeah, definitely. But if you didn't get a chance, make sure you go back to last episode where we had the editor of Skill Set Magazine, Jason Swar, and man, was it a action-packed episode. Jason was nonstop full of stories about everything. It was awesome. We talked about his time in service. He was a Marine for over 20 years. We talked about some of the more high-profile guests that they've had on the cover of Skill Set, like Michael Rooker, Ryan Philippe. I don't remember. There were so many. It's hard to keep up with. But we also talked about his passion for horror films. So make sure you go back to that episode. It was over 3 hours long. Grab you a nice cold drink, sit back, relax, enjoy it. I thought it'd be the perfect Memorial Day weekend episode. So hope you lead heads had an opportunity to listen to that. Do you know Jason?
I don't. I haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but I did start listening to it a little bit this morning, and then got distracted with work. But yeah, it's so he seems like a really interesting guy.
So first-hand account from one of our lead heads that has listened to the episode. Leadhead Jason says, Lefty, what a great episode. I think it was about skill set, but turned out to be a great squirrel moment. We chase squirrels on this episode, this show. We start one way and we end up completely different. You have to have him on.
Most fun conversations, though.
That's right. You have to have him on more, which we are planning to. Can't wait to hear the Trench Art AK episode if you decide to do it. I also love the 80s horror movies and collecting stuff. Just wanted to say you got it. You got to fit him in wherever you can. Took me back to the 80s, LOL. Leadhead Jason. So there you go. It was definitely an action-packed episode. And yes, we are going to have Jason sent the thing about Jason. Swar on again. And we were talking about doing trench art. You remember what trench art is?
I'm not.
So during wartime, when the troops are down and inactive, and this has been going on since wars have always been, soldiers will start scratching into things, their shields, their butt stocks, whatever it may be, their helmets.
Right.
They'll draw stuff, and he's been into the AK-47 trench art lately. So he's been finding furniture that's got
nice
trench art on it. So we're definitely gonna do an episode about that on the AK corner. But before we do that one, we're actually gonna have an AK versus AR episode. That's gonna be this month's AK corner. So we're gonna get some AK.
That's always the question, right?
Right. That's right. Which is better, the AK or the AR? but it boils down to personal preference. But we're going to have fun with it. We're going to have some experts on to give their definitive opinions as to why one is better than the other. And who knows? I mean, we may even go down a different road and throw another gun in. You just never know. So,
I'm looking forward to finding out.
Now I know you're an AR guy. You're in 3-gun competition. And let me introduce our guest. I'm sorry. So joining us today with Accufire Technology, making some of the best thermal night vision optics on the market today, and he's holding one up there if you're watching us on the YouTubes, is Brandon Sission. He is the COO, one of the owners of Accufire Technology. Brandon, welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. It's really, first off, thanks for having me, but it was really good meeting you last week. Probably the coolest event that I've been to since I've been part of this industry.
Yeah, so the Iraq Veteran 8888 Range Day, the infamous Range Day.
Now understood why it's infamous.
There's a lot of shooting and collaborating that goes on during that event, and that's, like you said, that's where we met. So that was your first Iraq Vet Range Day? It
was, yeah. So as a company, this is our first year to really kind of step out and do more than just a basic show. So this is the year we decided to kind of put gasoline, and we've been saying around the office a lot, put gasoline on the company and just let it burn and let's just go after everything. So that's what we're doing, and it's been a ride. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, just the short time and exposure that I got with your optics during that event, I was impressed, and obviously that's why we wanted to have you guys on the show. So thank you for the short notice that I gave you to be on, and I think the lead heads are really going to learn a lot on this one.
Yeah, I'm excited. The opportunity to come on here was a big deal. So we were glad that it kind of worked out for both of us. And and I think that's been the coolest thing about this whole past year was to get industry buy-in, because all the optics we made were made specifically for shooters. We're all shooters. We wanted to make purpose-driven optics for shooters. So the fact that all the quote-unquote shooters of the industry came out there and loved our stuff, it really solidified everything that we've done in the past 2 years.
Yeah, and like I said, specifically, we're going to be talking about their thermal night visions. And for those that are watching the video, I've got a hog hunt that I did with me and Nick Atkinson there on the back, where we were using some thermals and suppressors in Texas on a hog hunt. And we're going to talk about that a little bit, too. Brandon's got, I don't know if we want to, of course, by the time they hear it, you'll already be there, so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
The one you're getting ready to go on. But I'm going to turn that background off now. So there we go.
There it is. There's all the pretty stuff.
Bam. Yeah. But we were talking about the AR versus the AK, and you're an AR guy. You're a 3-gun competitor. So you shoot in 3-gun competitions. How long have you been doing that?
So I guess about a year and a half now. So the reason that I actually started 3-gun was to learn more about the optics and why we use optics a certain way. My background for the company comes from I've been a tech consultant in the startup world for a while, and always been in and around the 2A spaces, just being a hobby and also being a vet, So I started competing, and then I'm one of those people, once I dove in, once I found how addicting 3-gun was, it became a problem. Thankfully, my wife's pretty forgiving because we've been shooting a lot.
So does she shoot also?
She doesn't. I've got one of the wives who she will go and watch me, but couldn't care less. Will not pick up a rifle, and she's fine with that. Now she does know how to sweep the house and run a shotgun and stuff like that. We've got set up just in case, when I'm out.
There you go.
As far as going to the ranges, she couldn't.
When you say sweep the house, for those that think you're being misogynist there, he means he means assessing the dangers in the house and clearing the house. Yeah.
Fine off a room, all that good stuff.
He's like, what a sexist asshole. Some of our lady listeners out there.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so no, she could. She all went to go. There's one time though, I did my mile shoot. I think she regretted not shooting that day. She had an opportunity to do it. But other than that, no, she's just fine with being a cheerleader.
So we were talking a little bit off air there, and you were talking about how you haven't been doing it as much lately because the 3-gun in your area has kind of died down a little bit. Was that due to the pandemic or What do you attribute it to?
No, there's not without it speaking out of turn. It's not really. There was just a range that it was probably one of the best ranges that I've been to. They weren't able to keep up for reasons basically beyond their control. So when that shut down, that was a place we competed every weekend. So when that was gone, it just kind of there's a vacuum now. There's still some, but we're kind of scrambling now as a community to build a new gun range up here that's going to be
okay. So you're just talking like locally there. You guys had a place and you would do it quiet. Okay, I got you. So are you planning on traveling around to some of these bigger events and 3-gun competitions?
Yeah. So we've got a team. We've got Adam Popwell and Teen Sun, who are both. I don't know if you know the names. They're both heavy. They both shoot from Magpul. They're 3-gun heavy champions. So they're both shooting for us currently. I try to compete with them, and I made our company look bad, so they told me to stop.
But that's how you get better, man, is competing with the best.
And I kind of agree with them. They're like, you just compete, but don't wear any of our logos on your stuff. So as being the brand guy, they're like, I agree. So
I've got to disagree with that, man, because you've got to show every level of skill sets. With your product on there, saying we support the beginning shooter all the way up to the most advanced shooter. So you might want to rethink that one.
Well, I think it was more for one of the leaders of the company being such a bad shot was the issue.
I got you. I'm with you.
Yeah. But no, it's more of a joke. No, I compete as much as I possibly can. I've actually, I would say the PRS has become where I've really fallen in love with the long distance shooting. So I do as much PRS as I probably.
I hear that a lot with people that get into the shooting competitions. They eventually seems like they gravitate to the precision rifle competitions more.
Yeah, I think it's something about being a little bit older too, and injuries, and the PRS is a little less taxing on you.
Yeah,
but there's something very relaxing about still being under a time crunch, but having to get off precise shots and be able to get your breathing and all that. There's something. I really enjoy it, and it's become a little.
There's just something rewarding about reaching out, 300 to 800 to 1,200 yards and hitting something. It's just I did
especially
that.
With the 308.
Shooting something that big.
Yeah,
it's something that big and hitting it. It's pretty cool.
So I would say that I've been in a lot more PRS than anything else, but. As far as that goes, still you're going to run AR in the PRS and the gas gun series. It's still going to be an AR platform setup. So, and I've got the Triarch 17.3 is my.
Hold it up. We like gun porn here. We're doing video now, so.
That's true. So this is actually my my 3-gun setup is also my pig gun. So that's my.
Very nice.
Ran out of room there. At the OSS.
Back it up just a little bit.
There we go.
Just hold it. There you go. That's perfect. Yeah. Well,
see, the good thing about this too. This is what I was talking about. With it being my 3-gun, also being my night gun, is I can go to a 3-gun competition, and then at night I just put that on there, and my thermal's ready to go.
So what he did for those that are listening, he's holding up his 3-gun. He's got looks like a 1-8 or 1-6 scope on there.
1-8.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's one of the Accufires, 1-8. First focal plane, second focal plane.
This was our first focal plane, our 1-8. Our Atro series is our first focal plane, 1-8.
And then he took their thermal and he plopped it in front of it on the rail. And then
he got a dual cantilever mount, which kind of helps that really hold that zero, not move around on the rail. So we tried it originally with one lever, but didn't really hold as well. With two, it just really locks it in on both sides, so you hold zero really well.
Yeah, very cool. And we're going to talk more about Accufire, their optics, and what all they got going on. But first, we got to thank the sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast. So make sure you go show all our sponsors some love by going and buying their products. Is one, the best thing that you can do. And two is use those discount codes that we give you or those affiliate links that we hook you up with. Mission First Tactical. You go to missionfirsttactical.com. I just recently built a 7.62 .39 AR, and I put this buttstock on it. It's the Mission First Tactical Aluminum Minimalist, and this is just like their the polymer one that they make, but it's aluminum, and it's just as light, if not lighter. And obviously, you get the benefit of the aluminum and the strength in that buttstock. And then, of course, they make holsters there. They make our dump trays that we do here at Talking Lead. We've got the AK Corner with our AK Corner logos on there. You can go to Mission First Tactical and get those. We actually use these for our smithing trays. So when we're gunsmithing and throwing our parts and our dirty things on there, these things hold up really well. This is ink injected, so that's not going to scratch off. It's actually in the material, the Kydex there. And they can do your own logos. You can go and get our Talking Lead logos. Mission First Tactical. They even do CS spray there. So we've got some of that right here too we're showing you. Mission First Tactical, great furniture with their hand guards, their grips. We were talking about grips earlier. If you haven't tried out Mission First grips, you need to try out their grips. And their 30-round magazines. They could even do the same thing and put your logo on your magazines. It's on both sides. You can't see it, and it's in the bag right here. I got one laying around loose somewhere. But Mission First Tactical, they got AR-10 magazines, AR-15 magazines. In addition to all that other stuff, check them out. Use the code LEADHEAD, and you're going to get 20% off. But if you're listening to this right now, their website is going through an upgrade or something, and that code's not working. So shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, if you're having issues with the code, and I will put you directly in touch with their guy there at Mission First, and he'll make sure that you get the discount code. But hopefully by the time you're hearing this, they've got it resolved and it's working. But thank you to you lead heads. I can't remember who sent me the email saying the code wasn't working, but we did bring that to their attention, and it should be fixed any day now. Mission First Tactical. Check them out. And, of course, Seal1 for your clean lube protecting needs, seal1.net. They've got the CLP that comes in different delivery systems. So they've got like a paste right here that you can use. They've got a liquid. They've got an aerosol. They've got pre-soaked pads. And then you can buy this cool kit that I was holding up that's got the paste, the liquid. It's got a brush. It's got the pre-soaked wipes. It's got a towel in there. And we give away one of these on every episode of the AK Corner. So make sure you tune into the Talking Lead AK Corner and see if you're a winner on these. We've given away 5 so far. Episode 6 coming up when we do the AR versus AK. And these things are great for AKs, especially if you're shooting that corrosive ammo crap, because it does protect against corrosion. Seal1.net, code LEADHEAD, 25% off. So there you go. More sponsors and stuff. And as you watch the video, I'll have scrolling messages up for some of our other sponsors. Go to the links. I mentioned last episode ASP USA. We've got affiliate links on our website. And I just want to show them real quick what that looks like. Brandon, I'm going to share my screen here. Boom.
I see it.
Okay. So, Leadheads, you go to talkinglead.com, and for ASP USA, that's Armament Systems and Procedures. They're the people who make those awesome batons, the police batons, the handcuffs. They've got the flashlights that you hear me talk about all the time, the dual fuel flashlights, and the red guns. Are you familiar with red guns?
I am.
Yeah, so you've heard of the blue guns. ASP has the red guns, which they take it a step further, and they give you the ability to practice your reload. So they've got mag drops on their pistols, on their rifles. They've got knives there. They've got handcuffs in these. So if you're practicing your defensive move, whatever it may be, there's AR. I got an AR over here somewhere. Here's an AR. It's got the adjustable butt stock on it. It's got the mag drop.
Yeah, I can't see you. I can just see the screen.
Do I have a... Oh. That's right. I'm sharing my screen. So I'll come back. I'll show those. But go to the website and then scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see a link for the armament systems and procedures. And it's 15% off when you use the link on my website. But when you go there at checkout, use the code LEADHEAD, all caps, to make sure you get that 15% off. But you have to go to my website. You can click on any of those pictures I've got with the 15% off. And it's anything on their website that's not on sale or like on special. So any of the regular price stuff, 15% off. Use my link on my website, Leadhead. So there you go. That's all I'm gonna pitch right now. We'll pitch some more later. So let's stop sharing my screen somehow. Boom. There we go. Am I back?
There you are.
All right, so here's the red guns I was showing you. So it's got the mag drop. It comes with 2 mags. Here's the AR. So great for practicing your reloads if you're a 3-gunner. You just want to practice.
They great stuff.
Yeah, they've got the rail so you could mount your optics on there to get the proper weight and everything. Your lights, whatever it may be. Like I said, they've got handcuffs. They've got red flashlights, practice flashlights, and everything. So check them out.
I actually have ASP handcuffs and baton on my security belt right now.
Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah, I've got one of their new, it's like a minimalist baton, the smaller ones.
That's what I have. It's because I do some PPO work and I carry it with me.
Yeah, it's great for an EDC bag too. Definitely.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So there you go, Leadheads. Go and support those that make this show possible. And then also Keltec Weapons, 30 years of innovating in the firearms industry. They are going to be the host for Talking Lead in the Lead Quarters at the 2021 NRA in Houston. So if you guys are going to be there, make sure you come by the Keltec booth. And we'll have the studio set up there, Brandon.
We've sent our booth application in, so hopefully we will be there.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing you. Definitely. It's going to be a good time in Houston.
It's going to be a hot time in Houston.
Now, you're based out of Texas, right?
Yeah, we're in north central Texas, so we're about 4.5, 5 hours north of Houston.
Okay. Very good.
We're real close to the Oklahoma border.
We're going to talk more about Brandon, Accufire, their products, what all they got going on. But first, what I hear is that Jackwagon train rolling in. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I worked for GT Distributors for a while, and he came to a lot of their events. I hate that we lost him, man. He was a good one.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we still honor the Gunny. He is the conductor of our Talking Lead Jackwagon train, the only man I trust to keep these Jackwagons in line and not getting off the train once we put them there. So the train has stationed, and we've got some Jackwagons for the Gunny this week. And I think I'll start with our guest because you seem like you had something you really needed to vent and get off your chest, Jason. Brandon, Jason.
No, you're good. Well, so I actually have a Jason. My right-hand man is a Jason, so that's used to.
Yeah, but you're Brandon. You're Brandon. I got Jason on the brain because he was last guest, and then the guy who asked the question was a Jason.
Yeah. You know what's is Peter Gerson. You know what really grinds my gears is it's the being in it's coming from the tech space, and I go to companies, I help them find softwares that are good for their business, right, to make them grow. Being in the 2A space, they have made that impossible for us to be able to have a legitimate business and make it seem like we're doing something illegal. So you can't collect payments, you get kicked out of CMS, all these different basic business functions that we need to run as a company. We can't because businesses, specifically tech companies, want to get politics involved with everything. It's very frustrating that we can't run a business like anybody else. You know, you have people who aren't even selling anything that is anything firearm related, but because something has a ability to hold a holster, they're getting blacklisted. It's absurd, and I'm tired of it.
Amen. Hey, but it's by design. You know, it's these
100%.
Gun grabbers. They're like, you know, if we can't go directly for the gun, then we're going to go and undermine everything that has to do with it.
It's to the point of being infuriating. The fact that we cannot just, and you know, thankfully, there are enough people to see that hole that we can fix that. But the fact that, you know, just people like you and I can't run a business. But here, you know, I love though is this. In spite of the fact they're trying to stop us, we're growing every month and we're killing it. And they know that they can't stop us. So like, well, maybe we'll slow them down a little bit. So, but as soon as we figure out how to fix that BS of a problem, we're unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. They hit you where it counts, which is the economy of it. So they're hitting the businesses and making it near impossible for somebody to even want to consider going into anything remotely related to the firearms industry. He's just too much red tape BS that's involved. And that discourages probably, you know, 80% of the companies that want to get into our industry from doing anything.
Absolutely. I mean, and also, you know, it helps weed out some of the riffraff at the same time, because you've got to be tough to survive in this industry. And I've realized that, you know, you've got to be resilient and just keep pushing forward, because everything that any other company would use to make their company, you know, grow and kind of scale, you got to fight against it. And it's very interesting.
Yep. Very good. I will second that nomination, no doubt. All right, our next one comes from Lead Head. This is Lead Head Jonathan. It says, howdy, Lefty. I got to nominate that nominee for the ATF, David Chipman, which we talked about him last episode. He made it last episode, but it doesn't hurt to mention it again. Even the USA Today acknowledges that he's an anti-gun activist, and he makes no bones about it. He's definitely anti-gun. He's been a part of anti-gun organizations for many, many years. Based on his past and his current nomination status, that guy is going to be a jackwagon for a long time. Well, hopefully, he hasn't been nominated yet. Is that correct, or has he?
To my understanding,
appointed.
He has not been appointed. He's been nominated. He is not appointed yet.
Okay, so we can still cross our fingers.
It just goes to show, to back up our last point, they're going to do whatever they can to make sure we cannot be successful, and they're now going to put legislation in that. I mean, why else would you put someone who's traditionally completely anti-2A anything in charge of the one body that governs all things 2A?
Well, it's definitely not for checks and balances, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not for ours anyway.
No, definitely. He goes on to say, also in the spirit of Memorial Day, which I hope all you lead heads had a wonderful Memorial Day and Memorial weekend. I know I did. Had a great time hanging out with friends, barbecued, did some yard work, had a few adult beverages, and just kicked back and relaxed and enjoyed it. But we also remembered those who made it possible, all the men and women that have given the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to enjoy that weekend and every day that we have here in America. So he's just reminding us he's nominating our fallen veterans for a ride on Lead Force One. I myself have a great uncle that passed away in World War II, and we remember him every Memorial Day. That's awesome. So thank you for that nomination, Leadhead Jonathan. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so my jackwagon is the governor of West Virginia. And listen to what this jackwagon is doing. So it says, this is from Gun America Digest. Guns America Digest. S.H. Blanelberry, I guess, is the author. That's a hell of a name. West Virginia hosting vaccine lottery, giving away guns, trucks, $1.5 million. Governor Jim Justice desperately wants the people of West Virginia to become vaccinated against COVID-19, the flu. He wants them to get a flu shot. To incentivize.
Cold.
What's that?
Yeah, I have this thing that I think they just come up with a test for the common cold finally, you know. So I mean, obviously people are sick, people are, you know, there are a lot of people are sick, but it's
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So to incentivize people to take it in the arm, Governor Justice is holding a statewide lottery giveaway to include $1.588 million grand prize, a $588,000 second prize, full scholarship to any higher education institution in West Virginia, custom outfitted trucks, weekend vacations at state parks, lifetime hunting and fishing licenses, custom hunting rifles, and custom hunting shotguns. And of course, where do you think all this stuff's coming from? It's taxpayers' dollars. You know, it's not like people have donated this stuff and whatnot. It's complete bullshit. In order to qualify for the giveaway, a resident needs to have at least one dose of the vaccine. The giveaway runs from June 20th through August 4th. Isn't that illegal to require somebody to have to do something to enter something like that?
A state-funded, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, this seems a little bit like pandering, doesn't it? It seems like they're going specifically after people who would typically not want to do something like that.
Well, exactly what it is. It's like, all right, obviously they're not getting the response that they want from the vaccinations to begin with, which, I mean, the majority of Americans aren't stupid. It's like, you know, I'm not going to let you shoot something into me that's not been properly tested and proven, which this crap hasn't. And we're going to start seeing, unfortunately, we're going to start seeing the fallouts of these shots coming up in the next year, definitely. It says, in order to qualify for the giveaway, so I read that, the faster we get people across the finish line, the more lives we save. That's all there is to it. That's a direct quote from Governor Justice, said Tuesday. If the tab just keeps running, the cost is enormous. The hospitalizations are enormous. We have to get all of our folks across the finish line. Well, quit incentivizing hospitals to diagnose it as COVID by giving them extra money and dollars for it, you idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, many Virginians were critical of the announcement. No surprise there. Just when you think the poorest excuse for a governor I've ever seen can not sink any lower, surprise. Wake up to anyone who is thinking about getting the poison jab because of this, said one Facebook user. If he is bribing and pushing this hard, there is a hidden agenda. Disgraceful and disturbing is something we can always count on from this dude. So that's a great point that person makes right there, is like, why is he pushing this so hard? What's the incentive for him? What's his incentive? There's got to be some sort of incentive for him. And it's not that he cares about his constituents or, you know, his statesmen. He could give two shits, I guarantee you, about that. Otherwise, he wouldn't be giving their money away like this.
Yeah. So I politics is an interesting one for me, but yeah, it's very few people in that type of position care about anything outside of their circle.
And they're doing it in New York also. They're giving away scholarships. Cuomo, here's a tweet from him. Congratulations to the first 10 winners of New York's vaccine scholarship incentive. These lucky New Yorkers will attend a something in a something school with tuition, room, and board covered. So, I mean, they're doing it in all these libtard states. There's some kind of hidden incentive or agenda here. So, be wary. So that's my jackwagon. Have you been vaccinated?
No.
Okay. And I don't care. If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. I have no problem with somebody getting vaccinated.
Same here. But to me, I don't even get the flu shot. You know, I get the tetanus shot every 5 years because I don't want to get tetanus and I do stupid things, you know. But, you know, as far as the flu shot, I haven't gotten that since I got out of the military, and I haven't gotten the flu since I got out of the military.
Yeah.
You know?
When I became adult and I wasn't forced to get, you know, shots by my mom or the school or whatever, I stopped getting them, and I've gotten less sick because of that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
Absolutely.
is ridiculous.
It is.
All right, what about a hero? You got a hero?
I would say this might be a little bit of a cheesy one, but it's been the 2A community. Just getting to know, being around the 2A community for so long, I've always heard so many stories. To actually be part of it now, it's a really. I've been impressed recently, just at how we're kind of banding together. There's groups, and you're kind of weeding out the bad seeds, kind of like as best we can. So it's good to see what we're about to do. I think as a group of people to kind of combat just the unnecessary stuff we're dealing with.
We're in for a wild, ride this next 3.5 years. Definitely,
that's an understatement.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. So I like to go through and just kind of read headlines real quick, just to make sure that we don't miss anything. And I did like gun news on this search. And this is from firearmsnews.com. It says latest articles right here. Disarmed at SHOT Show ? Nevada moves to ban CCW in Las Vegas. So that's where they have SHOT Show, obviously.
Right.
They didn't have it this year. And I mean, it remains whether they're going to have it next year either, and what the NSSF decides that they want to do with that. NRA, oh, sorry about that.
No.
That's Nevada calling me right now. NRA canceled theirs last year, but they've decided to have it this year. They're going to have it in Houston. We just talked about that. So they're going to go ahead and do that, and we're excited about it, and I think everybody in the gun industry is, and we're gearing up for it. It says Nevada Democrat lawmakers recently passed an emergency bill. Emergency? What's the emergency? In the Senate to ban law-abiding citizens with concealed carry permits from being able to carry a firearm in Las Vegas Strip casinos and certain gaming-connected businesses such as hotels and shopping malls. I thought that was already a thing there. I thought you couldn't carry in a casino anyway.
I thought you just couldn't carry in the bars there.
Maybe that's what it was. See, as passed, Senate Bill 452 would make it where the only people carrying firearms near casinos or the Las Vegas Strip would be criminals. I mean, that's it. What any of these gun laws do, it's just enabling and empowering criminals. Who would find it a lot easier to rape, rob, or murder their newly disarmed victims. And since the restriction on carry would extend to property line, the firearm prohibition would include many open areas like parking lots. The measure will now be taken up by the Nevada House, where it has been assigned to a judiciary committee. Man. I was hoping we'd find some heroes. Smith & Wesson launches Gun Smarts Series 2. Well, this sounds like good stuff here. Smith & Wesson expands on its successful Gun Smarts video series with fresh new content for summer 2021. Have you heard of these? I haven't heard of these.
I have not.
Smith & Wesson announced that it has expanded its Gun Smarts video series with over 30 new educational videos for both new and experienced firearms owners, hosted by industry experts Ken Scott, Julie Golub, Jerry Mikulik. Smith & Wesson's Gun Smart Series 2 covers a comprehensive set of topics that include firearms education, shooting tips, gear recommendations, and more. Well, that's good. So kudos for them. They're going to make my Lead Force 1 then. Anything we can do to educate in our industry.
Right. Absolutely.
Which is, that's kind of our theme here, Jonathan, is we leducate the uneducated. So just like Smith & Wesson is jumping on board with that. So, very good. I did like the headline thing last episode. I'm not going to do it again this episode, so we'll skip that one. So now I want to talk about Accufire and all the cool things that they've got going on. Brandon, he is here to tell us how they got started and all the cool products that they've got available.
Accufire's got a kind of a cool story. It started 2017, roughly. We came to market with one scope. It was a Noctis V1. It was a digital day and night scope it was a screen you looked at. It was a 4-inch screen. It's it's a cool product, and we'll always have it around. It's become kind of a niche for visually impaired and also for education, right? Teaching kids and youth and even new hunters how to shoot, because you actually see the reticle, right? It's got Wi-Fi streaming, all that good stuff. Everything you'd want in a night vision scope. But it was a one product company, and we really weren't doing as much as we knew we could. So fast forward to SHOT Show, like last one, 2020. So the one right there on the right there, that's the Noctis V1, that's my mouse. Yeah, that one right there, that's what we first came to market with. It's a great scope, and it's actually, we've had a lot of fun with it. I've killed, actually, I think if you click on that, it might be a picture at top of, I have that on a 4570 lever action. Oh, no, it is not. That's the one with our buddy Larry. But yeah, so it's a fun scope, and you can move it around to basically crossbows, all kinds of stuff. So it really opens the doors for a lot of people that haven't got a chance to use night vision, right? And it's $6.99. It's a good product too. We've killed, I can't tell you how many pigs and coyotes have been killed with that particular scope right there.
Well, what year did you guys enter the market?
2017 is when this came out.
Okay, so you guys are fresh. You're new to the industry, relatively speaking.
Yep. So then we go SHOT Show 2020. The last real SHOT Show we had, we came out with prototypes for probably, I think there were 13 traditional optics and a thermal and a traditional body night vision. So this technology, the Noctis V1 and the traditional body. So we came out with all those at SHOT Show 2020, and then COVID happened, everything shut down, and we kind of took it as an opportunity to rebuild the company. So what we did was we shut down, rebranded, and came out with 6 badass new products. Every one of these is purpose built for something. Our traditional scopes are all purpose built for specific task. Our thermal is built for shooters, right? Is to throw on the front of any traditional optic and be able to turn your AR or your AK, if you've got a full rail, into a night capable thermal capable optic. And so that's kind of what led us to here. But if the one in the middle there, so that's the TR1. That's our new digital night vision. So this one was kind of my baby. This is something that was the first product we started working on as far as our next product line. Mm-hmm. And this turned out leaps and bounds better than we hoped it would. We went through, I can't tell you how many different versions and tests on software, but there's a lot of really cool features about this. One of it is the internal battery. So you actually have a 10-hour internal lithium battery. So where the tubes are, the 30 mil tubes, basically, so any 30 mil rings will work on this. Mm-hmm. You've got 2 batteries in there. So actually you have, 10-hour internal battery life.
You got one on each side of the.
Correct.
Okay.
The pumpkin. Yep. It's a 1-button control system. Well, technically 2. The power button turns on and off, obviously, and that's also how you start and stop video while you're hunting. So you double tap that and it starts recording. But everything else is run off.
So this has a built-in recorder on it.
It does.
Okay.
So it also we have our own app. So the V1 and the TR1, both of our night vision, the Noctis series, both actually stream to your smartphone. So we have an Android and Apple iOS app. So you actually stream and watch everything, record everything from your phone, and then obviously download it, share it, and everything's right there.
Does it have a memory card, or something like that you put in?
This one does not. So this one, actually, everything is housed internally. There's a few reasons for that. One, we get to save space in the pumpkin without having slot readers. And 2, you actually get to increase your weather rating, right? Because you have less open ports. Mm-hmm. So it is a direct, it creates its own Wi-Fi port. We are working on a firmware update where you can plug it into your computer and pull the pictures off that way. That I think that'll just take a few tries. We're currently working on how to do that right now. We've only done one firmware update in the history of the company with the Noctis. So we're not too big on doing constant firmware updates.
And what does Noctis mean?
Night. It's night in Greek, I believe. So that's kind of so Noctis was what we, and Lee and I, who are my business partner, him and I came in almost 2 years ago, and that's kind of when we decided to do what we've done with the company. That's a name we inherited, so we just kind of built off of that, so we kind of stuck with the Incendis, which means fire for the thermal, right, and the Prospectis, meaning sight for the traditional sight, the traditional scopes.
Okay.
We try to keep them, you don't realize how much goes into a naming convention.
No, I do, absolutely do. Yeah.
It was a lot.
It's all in a name, It's definitely all in a name.
Absolutely.
And I even like your logo because it's very reminiscent of Harley Davidson. Was that by design?
No, it wasn't actually. It was. So from my understanding, once again, we inherited a lot of this. The original logo actually was meant to look like a police shield, and then the Accufire had a bullet going through it. So he actually had a bullet flying through it. So it was meant to look like that. So it is kind of give you that bold look.
Sure.
But yeah, we're working on currently kind of more of an icon, something to really, I can see on my shirt. We've got something we're working on too on that too. But
let me do the shares. Hold on. There. Okay.
You see that right there?
Yeah. That's kind of like Captain America.
Yeah, it is reminiscent of Captain America.
Well, Captain America,
our shirt we're releasing with Victos. We just did they designed a shirt for us, and we're releasing it with the Texas flag, and it's our thermal on there. So I'm pretty excited about that too.
So let's rewind a little bit. You just like 2017 we came out when we did this. How did you decide that you wanted to get into the optics industry, and specifically in thermal, because your first release was a thermal optic?
Well, our first release was actually infrared, right? So our first thermal
infrared
is this one. Yeah. So this is our first thermal release. Those were the other two are digital infrared, right? So you have to have external IR light to see at night. And we're going to talk about the differences too. I want you to talk and educate us on the differences too. Yeah, please. Where Accufire actually started was honestly by accident. Is you had some engineers who were working on night vision cameras for surveillance, and they just said, hey, I think we can use this technology to make an actual scope, and that's why it looks more like a camera. The original one looks more like a camera than does a scope. And so the original developers, designers of this, they didn't really understand the industry at all. And that's where Lee and I kind of came in and took their brains and we put it into, this is what a company should look like. And Lee being the mad scientist and genius behind ballistics and scopes and being in and around the industry for so long, and then myself with the branding and marketing and kind of the operational background of it. So we are very, very, very lucky to have manufacturing channels and engineers where we can be able to prototype really innovative stuff and not really have to worry too much about our limitations beyond engineering capabilities, which is really exciting. So I think we're going to push them. We'll be pushing a lot more. We're going to try things no one else is trying. I think that's a big thing, and also make it where everyone can afford it. That's a big thing too. Coming from most people in our industry, as far as shooters, can't afford a $6,000 thermal. They can't afford a $28.99 clip-on. They can run on any optic too. So that's our thing too, is making really good stuff that everyone can afford. Especially in shooters, right? People who understand what quality feels like and looks like.
Right. And the great thing about it is, on the one that you just showed me, is it Incendis? It can be used as a handheld or it could be a mounted. So you could carry it with you and use it, or you can mount it on your firearm and use it.
Or do both. And it actually has a reticle too, so you can run this as a scope by itself too. So you can actually turn a reticle on there and run it just as a standalone optic as well.
Yeah, so and I want to talk about it individually from the others.
Yeah.
So was you saying that was your first offering, that one?
So we released the TR1, which is our infrared night vision. It looks like a traditional body scope. Actually, everything you see on our website that is not the Noctis V1, we released this year in January. We started our pre-sale in October. Everything else you see besides that one we released this year. Those are all brand new products to the market.
So the Noctis V1 was your introductory product to the market.
That's correct. Yep, that's correct. And that's why it kind of looks like a camera, right? It was made by people who are really smart.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a movie camera because it's got
exactly.
It's got your screen on the very back, so you're not putting your eye to it. It's just you got a screen there. So you've got that, but that was also made to be mounted or handheld, correct?
Yeah, you can run it handheld. We've put it on some scanners. It's just not. It's kind of bulky to be handheld.
Yeah,
it's a little too big to do that. Now the other one is
put it on a tripod.
You can. We actually have run on tripods a lot, or like on a Go mounts.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do some remote stuff because this is you can stream about 30 yards away from this one.
Oh, okay, nice. So it's Bluetooth.
It's Wi-Fi.
It's Wi-Fi. Okay, Wi-Fi, so you're using Wi-Fi on that one.
Yeah.
And this is a
digital night vision. So this is infrared night vision.
This is infrared. So you're using infrared on this one.
That's correct. So you can use this one day or night. So this one actually has a sensor that picks up infrared light. So you have to run an external light to be able to see at any distance.
Okay.
With that.
So let's educate our listeners and let's educate me on infrared, thermal, and night vision.
Yeah. So I will do my best to educate on infrared and thermal. The night vision, the tubes, and the white phosphorus, stuff like that. I'm still learning that because that's something we are in the process of diving into.
Yeah.
But that is a little bit foreign to me, and there is a lot to learn in that. But as far as the big difference, so infrared night vision, right? What you're going to have with infrared night vision is going to be it's going to be looking at specifically what it says infrared light. So most of the time, these are going to be your digital optics, right? Which kind of have a bad, I guess, repetition. But these are electro optics that actually what it's doing is taking that light and then kind of processing into a digital image where you can see at night. The benefit of and I'll kind of go back and forth between the benefit of each one of them versus the downfalls.
Okay.
So the benefit of night vision is you keep your infrared is you keep your depth position, not necessarily night vision. We'll stick with infrared. The benefit of infrared is you can actually keep that depth perception. And with a good light, we use, there's a Sniper Hog Lights makes one called the Coyote Cannon. We can see, a good 1,000 yards at night with a good infrared light. There are, beams and other things like that you can get. There are lasers that are infrared you can see.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing about infrared is that it's invisible to the naked eye, right? So if you look at it, all you see is a little, tiny red LED glowing, but you can't see anything else besides that. But now in the optic itself, it looks like a spotlight coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's kind of the downside of infrared is if you are in tall grass or if you're in a place where there's a lot of brush or something like that, you could very easily glass past 10, 15, 20, 100 pigs or coyotes and not know they're there because you can't really differentiate them between the grass sometimes. Right. Now, that's where the thermal comes in. The good thing about thermal, and a lot of people use the thermal as a scanner, is that you can run through a field and all of a sudden you pick up a heat signature like, oh, there's something there standing out. And that's why thermal is kind of taken over the market because you don't miss things. You also don't realize how many skunks you're hunting with at night because you see
everything has a heat signature too.
Exactly. I mean, everything has a heat signature. So you'll see I can't tell you how many times we stalked on a rock for an hour. It's like, man, we know it's a pig, but it's a rock. And when you get close enough, you see it from 800 yards away and like that. Let's get close to it and you find it's a rock.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where a lot of times it's good to have a thermal and a night vision if you can in the group, or if you run a scanner or if you run a night vision, because you can actually see that heat signature and they get closer to it. It's like, all right, now you can see what's going on, and you basically it's like shooting in daylight if you have a good night vision setup or infrared setup. So that's a big.
So for us, third grade educated people, if we break it down, the night vision, and when you see it on TV and they've got the nods, it's the green. That's the night vision you're talking about. It's like
night vision.
When you've got the green background and everything.
That's correct. Those are the ones, like you see, if somebody turns on a light and blinds you, right? Those are the ones you don't want to use. You cannot use in daylight, period.
Right.
The benefit of those is that basically you can work, drive, you can do everything you need to do with those in close proximity. Downside of them is they are outrageously expensive. You're looking, 30, sometimes, anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 for those.
Right.
And then also you're not necessarily always able to see as far as you can with some of the other stuff. So that's kind of one of the downsides of those. But they are very good, and that their benefit is you can drive with them. You can basically anything you would use in a day, you can now use. So if you have a rifle, you don't have to change out your optics and do stuff like that as well.
Yeah, you can pick up detail and things like you said. You can drive with, so you can see the road and see the lines on the road and all that. But it's got to be dark, got to be pitch black.
Exactly. So that's typically we drive with nods, scan with thermal, shoot with infrared. That's kind of the play.
That's a good. I like that. Yeah. Like the way you break that down.
So on the downside of thermal is you're going to lose. Sometimes you'll lose that depth perception, right? So you'll look at through a thermal and well, that's 20 yards away. When realistically it's 100 yards away. So that obviously doesn't always help with. That's why it's really beneficial to know where you're hunting.
Yeah, and then you've got the different spectrums on the thermals that you can kind of cycle through on some scopes, and with your scopes you have that ability to do that. Talk about that.
Yeah, so you have white hot, black hot, green hot, and red tracker, and then you've got multiple environment settings, right? With ours, there's 3 different environment settings, and that's probably the question we get the most. It's like, hey, what's your favorite spectrum? What's your favorite color? And I don't have one to answer that question. For me, every time you get out of the vehicle or you get to a new site, I always cycle through those and play with my settings. And like I said, we call it playing the trumpet, right? Because it's 3 buttons up there, just seeing what I'm going to do to make sure that environment, because where we're in North Central Texas, it could be rocks or it could be mesquite trees or it could be pecan trees. Or it could be, in a flat.
Hold that one up you got there, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about the trumpet there. That's what he's talking about there. So you've got your controls easily at your fingertips at the top of the
Exactly. So this is color here. It's where you cycle through your colors. If I short press this one, if you see the
yeah, we see it.
So if I short press this one, that's the menu. That's going to get me through my environment settings. That's basically just some preset contrast and just different presets in there. This one is going to be my zoom 1, 2, and 4x, right? Those are going to be my digital zooms. Obviously, the power button. This also has an internal shutter or a nuke, so you can hit that and kind of just reset your heat readings, for lack of a better term, right? So that's what I was saying. So every time, and this is the focus here. So if as I'm looking, I can actually focus downrange,
manually focus.
Yep. Okay. It's just a manual objective focus.
Yeah.
It's funny too. People look through this like, oh, that's clear, and I'll look through them like, oh, you didn't have it focused in. You should be able to see hairs on people. If you're only 100 yards away.
Is there any way you can put it up to the camera and turn it on? Can we see?
Let's think about that. Let's see what we can do.
Let's try it and see. Because when I looked at this at the range, just like you said, man, I was going and I was seeing people's hairs, and it was amazing.
Let's see what we can do here.
Right there. We don't really see a picture, but it's just I see a light. You might be too close to it. Right there. Right there. Push a button and do something.
Yeah, I'm changing to the colors right now.
I just see a white screen.
Yeah. I saw when it went green. You can see when it went green. Also, I'm really close to it.
There's green.
See it's green. Yeah.
That's
white. Oh, that's white. It's just so.
Yeah, we can't see.
Yeah. But I don't know if you want to put it, but there's someone just did a really, really detailed review for us on YouTube. It's like 36 minutes, and it shows a lot of, really good quality. It's one of those things.
Now, does this one record?
This one does not record, but you can record externally. So that's the thing too. So that's what the big thing with this one is. This is our first thermal, right? Everybody's been asking for a thermal from us. This is our first. I say everyone like we're someone big. People who know who we are, right?
Right.
We're saying, hey, you guys should make a thermal. This one was made, like I said, for shooters, right? So it is a really good thermal core that is really clear that you can attach to any AR and go to work, or any gun and go to work. So we didn't really put a lot of frills in here, no recording, no streaming, none of that stuff. But our next one will. We have a 640 core coming out. It's going to have all the bells and whistles. And it's going to be nasty. But this one was, I don't want to use the word budget. We want to make this one affordable.
Mm-hmm.
So people can see that we can make quality stuff and get it kind of mass market. And then we'll come out with the crazy expensive, really.
Now hold that one back up. Hold that one back up. Now you've got to turn it around. You got a side mount over here.
Yeah,
got a side rail, pick rail.
So right here, what we do have is the ability. It comes with a cable. It's a USB-C to AV and also to a USB 2.0. You can run an external DVR and record from here.
Okay.
And what this pick rail is on here for, we actually have a battery we built for this, an external battery built. It didn't work out as well, but we have a new one coming that's actually weather rated that's going to be coming out. We'll mount right here. Because right now, let me show you this. When it runs off, take this little side plate off here.
Okay. He's unscrewing the side, and that's where the battery storage is. Okay.
Yeah. So it actually runs off 4 1, 2, 3 batteries. I don't know if you can see this or not, but these are actually our batteries.
Yeah. Rechargeable.
It runs off of, so it charges right there. And these will hold minimum 20 cycles, and we actually run these lights or run these batteries in a lot of things.
So you get about 3-4 hours out of that?
That's exactly. Yep, 3 or 4 hours depending on weather. On this one with the any external battery bank one. I mean, if it's any of them, if it's someone you got at a giveaway will work, you'll get about on 10,000 milliamps. You'll get about 10 hours use of that.
Nice. That's definitely a benefit. No doubt.
So yeah, we're really big on battery usage and using the right chipsets for that too. So it's really important to us. But yeah, and then I don't know if you want to keep talking about thermal. You want to look at the traditional stuff.
Let's move to your traditional. We'll come back to thermal and the night vision stuff. But yeah, so you do offer traditional. You just started offering some traditional scope. I saw your 1 to 8. I don't think I saw the other ones. So let's talk about those offerings that you have.
Yeah, so we have 2 different lines. That's our 2 different lines within our Prospectis line, right? So our traditional line is our Prospectis line. We have the Evro series, it's our essential variable rifle optic, which that's our 1 to 6, which is our only second focal plane is our 1 to 6 fully illuminated reticle. That's our Evro 6, and that one's $649. Keep in mind, all of our traditional scopes, lifetime warranty, no questions asked. Something goes wrong with it, send it back. We replace it, and we'll just send you a new one. And then we have in that line, so that's our kind of, like I said, our entry level LPVO. And then we have the Evro 12, which I believe it's our 3 to 12 to 44, which is for $479. What you get is a first focal plane with locking turrets and parallax, and you get this what I believe is the scope on the Evro 12 is going to be on the right. That one right there. I think this is the scope that everybody needs on their hunting rifle. They can drop anything in North America. 3 to 9
seems to be like the standard go-to for most.
Yeah, it was. Exactly. I think everybody has a 3 to 9. This is a 3 to 12. Here's the thing about this is realistically, with being the first focal plane and with the reticle that's currently in there, you can make shots out to 1,000 yards without any issues with this one. And that was kind of the goal too, is to have a good reticle that would just that would do the work, and also a simple reticle. All of our other reticles are there's a lot to them. We've got a lot of subtensions. We put a lot of math in these for kind of our people who need that. But the Evro 12 is, like I told you earlier, all of them are my favorite. I love this scope, and I think it's going to do really well for us because My goal is to have every hunter in America to own one of these.
Very nice. So talk about the glass that you guys are using in your scopes.
Yeah, so the Evro 12 and the Atro 20, we'll talk about the Atro series in a second. Those both have FED flat glass. So these are a lot of times what you'll have when you get on the scope, especially when you get on the eye relief, you'll have kind of that blurring around the side, the kind of the mirage, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What that is where the glass curves, right? So in order to get rid of that, we actually went flat glass on these. And you don't typically see that for stuff in our price range as well too. So that really, the eye relief and the glass on these it's I'm kind of biased, so it's I think it's the best.
What's the eye relief?
No, it's actually on that on the fourth picture over. Yeah, on both of them. So that right there.
Let's see if I can make that bigger. That's what she said.
Yeah.
There's tube size, max elevation, max windage. Parallax setting, you got 25 to infinity on the parallax. Field of view, 41.9 feet per 100 yards. And let's see, you said it was a first focal plane. It is IR rated. Field of view is 10.5 feet per 100 yards. 10.5 feet per 100 yards. There you go.
I'll find real quick.
That bigger. I put my reading glasses on, so I was looking at glasses. There we go.
Yeah, me too. It's 3 to 3.5 inches.
Okay.
So that was that we were trying to keep.
Oh, the eye relief. Yeah, that's what I forgot what I was looking for. Yeah, 3.2 inches is the eye relief on the Evro 12.
And the Atro 20, and the Atro series, the other series is called our Advanced Tactical Rifle Optic. That's our other one.
And that's what Atro stands for?
Yes, sir. So that's going to be, and that's going to be our upgraded LPVO and our Atro 20. So the Atro 20 is what I currently have on my PRS. That's actually my Ruger Precision in those pictures there. But that is the one that has a zero stop. I could talk about this scope for days and days. It is a work of art, in my opinion. But once again, a little bit biased. So a full illuminated reticle, Christmas tree reticle. One of the cool things about this, if for someone who likes to stay on the scope, right? I'm one of those guys. If I'm on the scope, I don't like bringing my head up. I don't like looking off. So if you look at the top, you've actually got a funnel. And what you see on the reticle is 2468. Right. What that actually is 36 inches at 2, 4, 6, and 800 yards. With a line down the middle, you can do math to double that up or divide it in half, which is really cool too. Right. So that's one of the things that we've done.
Yeah, you got to be a calculus expert to run one of these.
So here's the thing.
I'm just kidding. You really don't. I mean, once you get into it and you learn where all the ticks are, it's easy. Yeah.
Oh man, it's.
I mean, just looking at it, you're going to get overwhelmed. You're like, what the hell? I'm in a Battlestar Galactica video game or something here. What's going on?
Yeah, there's a lot. And that's one of the first things you hear from people who aren't used to it. Like, man, there's a lot going on this reticle. And there is, but once you get used to it, you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. It just takes some time getting used to.
So educate us on this one that we're looking at right here.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying up top. So you see, I can't read that. I can't read what that says because it's pretty blurry. Give me 1 second here.
My screen's blurry?
Well, my eyes are blurry more than anything else.
Oh, I got you. 6, 8, 10. 6, 8, 10. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically what that's telling you is it's 600, 800, there we go, 800 and 1,000 yards. That's what 36 inches looks like, right? If you go all the way across. So typically, F6 target or something along those lines, they're going to be 18 inches, so you can divide that in half and do the math that way as well, too, right? And then also, by that assumption, you could, also double that out to 2,000 yards, which would, do some calculations out to over a mile if need be. And then what you have on the bottom are obviously just your holdovers. We had a lot of we love this reticle. We spent a lot of time behind it. I'm glad we went with it. There's been some minor changes over time. We've had a lot of input on it, and we're really happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
We got 20 MOA. holdover at any point. Yeah.
Get out of there. Boom. All right.
So yeah, you got 20 mils, right? Or I said 20 MOA, but 20 MRAD, 20 mils of holdover any way, with the reticle, which gives you can shoot real far without any issues here. It's one of the questions, like, can you shoot this distance? Like, if your gun can do it, you can shoot to that distance with this. I mean, obviously, it's 2.5 by 50, so as far as you want to take it, you can take it. I've shot 308 up to 1400 with this, pretty consistently, considering it's a 308. But it's a fun optic to shoot.
Now, is this a first or second focal plane?
This is first focal plane as well.
First focal plane, okay.
Yes, sir.
And just a reminder, first versus second. Tell us again what that is.
So, first focal plane basically means when you zoom in and zoom out, your reticle is going to get bigger with your zoom, right? So what that is actually doing is giving you more accurate shots at any zoom. Your second focal plane, we can get more technical on that, but I don't go too far down. But the second focal plane is basically the reticle stays the same size no matter what your zoom is. Those are still accurate.
Your target gets bigger, but your reticle stays the same size.
That's correct. Yes,
where the first, your target and your reticle get bigger.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Just to put it on my third grade level.
No, I have to have I have to have it explained down to me regularly.
I get them confused sometimes. I mean, I've gone over this like 100 times, and I've had all kinds of optical experts on the show, and we talk about it every time, and I always get confused. They're like, first and second, all right, remind me again. One gets bigger, one doesn't get bigger.
It doesn't matter until you need it to matter.
Exactly.
Right? So people some people shoot second focal plane, they couldn't care less. Then why change?
And it depends on the application you're using your optic for, also, because the first focal plane could be a hindrance sometimes, because that dot will cover up your target. So you kind of got to be knowing what you're using it for to decide whether you want first focal plane or second focal plane.
And absolutely, especially in the LPVO setup, because the LPVOs, they can be two completely different, options. Which this one is the first focal plane. This one I can shoot really close, 25 yards and in, no problem at all, because there's the halo reticle at 1, or I can shoot up to 1,000 yards when I zoom in, because the reticle gets so big that I actually have all my holdovers and stuff like that too. So that's the 1 to 8. And this is, I love it. And I don't know if you can hear this or not on there, but.
Oh, yeah.
We worked really hard on the turrets on these. And I'm not easy on any of my gear. I think that's why I'm one of the testers, because I'm so far to date the only person that's broken a thermal, and I actively tried to. But it still works. There's just something that rattles inside of it, but it still works just fine.
Would you drop it or something? Bang it up on something?
I plead the fifth.
Okay, I got you. Well, let's talk about that then. I mean, that leads into a good next question as far as your warranty on your optics. What kind of warranty are you guys backing these with?
So the digital right now have 3-year warranty. That's just it's kind of it's industry standard, but until we get more data, to say, because we haven't been around that long, but we're going to go 3 years right now for the digital stuff, for the night vision and thermal, and for the traditional, it's a lifetime. No questions asked. Just send it in, we fix it, no problems.
Okay. Are you fixing it, or are you just sending a new one?
I'm sorry, we send them a new one. Sorry, with the digital, we'll fix it, but more than likely we just send a new one.
Yeah.
A lot of times with digital, it's just a simple firmware update and checking it out.
Speaking of the firmware, updates, is that something that an owner would be able to do themselves, or are they going to have to send it in to get a firmware update?
Really easy to do. For the V1s, you just take your SD card, put it in there, and you're done. For the TR ones, we're actually working on that currently, how to make sure that that's something you can do through the app.
Yeah. So, these are thermal is like everybody's dream, to own night vision, thermal, whichever it may be, and thermal more than others. But if depending on what you're using it for, you got to be careful in your state, because some states won't allow hunting with thermal optics.
There's some states, if you have this in your vehicle while you have a loaded weapon, you could be in a lot of trouble. I mean, it's
even if you don't have it on your rifle. Yeah, if it's just on your person with a loaded firearm, then you could be a criminal, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Now here's the thing though. So I have recently gotten to know game wardens really well. They've become some of my favorite LD to work with, and I didn't realize how bad poaching and how bad night hunting really is. So I kind of understand on playing the devil's advocate, but at the same time, just you're not stopping the bad guys. You're stopping the good guys. The bad guys are still going to do it.
Yeah,
you're not going to stop them. But yeah, I didn't. It's a pretty bad problem in a lot of states, and that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I think here in Tennessee, unless it's changed, they don't allow electronic night or optics. You can't use electronic optics.
I think you're right. I should know this because we were just there. Because when we were there for the shoot, we actually drove across Tennessee one day to talk to a gun store, and I do believe you are correct. But I have to double check on that. Yeah,
I think I looked it up the other day, and I could have sworn that they had lifted that for like nuisance and predatory hunts, but I guess they haven't.
Yeah, I mean,
because I looked up on the Tennessee Wildlife Resource website, and it states on there. Let's see if I still got it up on my one of my bars up here. Coyotes. I got coyotes up, which is what I would hunt with it. But in Texas, which is where I've done any of my hunting with thermals or night vision, it's been in Texas, and Texas allows it.
Yeah. Oh, Texas. Here's the thing: we have such a horrific hog problem here that Texas is basically saying, "Please do whatever you can to get rid of these things."
And it's become that way here in Tennessee also with the hogs, but we got coyotes really bad here too. So here it is. So this is the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency prohibited acts, illegal hunting equipment and methods. The use of the following equipment is prohibited: predator calls, pod arrows, explosive arrowheads. Oh, come on. I can't go all Rambo.
Come on.
Firearms capable of fully automatic firearms, archery equipment with the device utilizing an artificial light capable of locating wildlife, and then any electronic light amplifying night vision scope, thermal imaging device, or similar devices while in possession of a firearm or archery tackle between sunset and sunrise. So there you go. Can't hunt with them here.
I think Tennessee is a beautiful state, but they need to get their crap together.
They do, and we are slowly but surely. And there is a proposal for private landowners to be able to use night vision for, predatory and destructive animals.
Yeah, I think there. I know there's a lot of states. It's getting approved more and more every. From my understanding, I know that.
Yeah. And we're not saying that these are illegal to own. You can own night vision. You just can't hunt with it. You can't use it to hunt with. So you can go out and, spot the coyotes at night and see where they're going and then go shoot them during the day, or the hogs. And again, depending on the laws and if there's a license or if there's a season, you gotta take all that into consideration too.
Also, the thing in Texas now is that, if you were to come to Texas, this, you were just here, you don't even have to have a license to hunt them anymore, right? You can just come here and please help us get rid of them. It was fun, and obviously we've made money off of it, making industry off of it. But at the same time, it's for we have a family property. They're a nuisance.
They even pay you to shoot coyote there. You turn in their paws, or at least they did like 3 years ago. I don't know if that's still a fact, but you could turn in the paws and they'd pay you like $10 a paw or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's a certain license you can get to do that. Because our coyote problem is bad too. We're really close to having a mountain lion problem, which I personally do not want to have.
Yeah, definitely. And we did do some. We shot some mountain lions too when we were out there
in Texas. Really? Oh yeah, that's fun.
It was rare when we were with Nick, and we saw a couple, and he got one. He shot it's like an 800-yard shot. He took one down across a river.
I was like, well, that's just a cool story then.
Yeah. He's a good shot. I'll have to introduce you to Nick.
That'd be great. He's local?
Well, I mean, he's in Texas.
He's Texas boy?
Texas is as big as a lot of countries. So.
That's very true. That's very true.
He's local to Texas.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got 4 different states within Texas too, so.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Am I back on our screen, or am I still screen sharing?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, good deal. So, Accufire, the website is accufiretech.com, and you guys are on Instagram?
Yeah, anywhere you go, Accufire Tech, you'll find us. Instagram, YouTube, it's on Facebook. Everywhere you look, look for the shield, and that's us.
Very cool. So, Leadheads, go and show them some love. Follow them on the Instagrams. Let them know you heard about them here on the Talking Lead podcast. And the traditional scopes, I think you guys will like them. Now, I haven't tried them out yet. I mean, just disclaimer here, guys. I've not tried any of these out yet. I am going to get hands-on with one of with thermal.
Thermals. Yep.
So I'll have some good data for you guys in the next couple of months here. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it, man.
Well, when you get you an LPVO for one of your AKs, try to figure out which one of your AKs in the background need an LPVO back there.
Okay. So talk about that. Talk about the LPV. Is it got a 762.39 BDU?
It does have the BDU for 76239. They're all based off of right now. They're all based off of 77 grain 223. But I'm sure if someone's been doing that for a while, you can understand that you can make those adjustments pretty easily, right? So we do have though is all of our scopes are actually rated for 50 cal. So they're all 50 cal rated. So the ability to throw this on anything and really send rounds down range, especially something like what you're holding right there in your hand, something what you're holding right now, you put the 1 to 8 on that, you can send rounds without a problem.
I had a 1 to 8 on this during hunting season. So
did you?
Yeah. So I hunt with this, and I'm holding up for those listening. This is the ODS Aqua Defense Solutions 1775 AK-47. Now, I've just got a red dot on it right now. When I'm not hunting season, I just run it with the red dot.
Beautiful.
But, accuracy, you talk about, your AR, you use it for your precision rifle shooting. You could take this and you could use this. It's that accurate.
I have to be honest. I've only spent time behind a few AKs, and every time I've shot them, I've loved them. I got to meet, and I feel really bad. I cannot remember his name right now. I think it's Jim Fuller.
Jim Fuller.
Custom. Yeah. Yep. We got to meet him in Arizona, and we got to see his shop. And my God, the stuff that guy makes works of art.
He's the American godfather of the AK-47, baby.
Nicest guy. He was so happy just to show us everything he had, and everything he had was beautiful.
Yeah.
So
great dude. He's been on the AK corner a couple of times. I was going to try to get him for this AR versus AK segment, but he's so busy right now. He just started that new company in Arizona. He moved to Arizona and started his deal there. So
Fuller Phoenix. I have one of the
Fuller Phoenix Fuller, something like
Yeah, but we met him and Travis when we went out there to go up to. We just happened to stop by, and Travis and Jim walked us around, showed us everything. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, I had both of them on one episode. That was pretty amazing. That would have been perfect to get him, Travis, and Jim on for the AK.
And then are you familiar with Triarch?
I've heard of Triarch. Remind me what they do?
So they're ARs. That's who they build. This is one of theirs. This is their logo right here. right here.
Okay, out of Texas, I take it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So their thing is gas tuning. Their gas tuning, their ARs are some of the flattest, fastest things that, I mean, they're sewing machines. Everything about them smooth. So it'd be cool to maybe get them, if you could get them and Jim, side by side. It'd be interesting to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, definitely. So that's coming up. We're going to do the AR versus the AK. Going to go get the pros and cons of both sides. We're going to get 2 teams. I don't know how many we're going to have on each team yet. Maybe 3 people on each team, maybe 4 people on each team. I'm going to be the moderator. It's going to be a fun show, so that's going to be on this month's AK Corner, Leadheads. Make sure you tune in for that. What about red dots? You guys got any plans to do red dots?
We do. So I'll tell you some of the things we have coming out. We do have a red dot. So by Christmas this year, we'll either have in production or pre-sale red dot, a 640 core thermal, and then we'll actually have our Prio line, our traditional optics, which are going to be basically our next level, really high-end glass. But we will have a red dot very soon. We actually have a really cool spotting scope. It's a digital spotting scope we'll have out soon too.
Oh, cool. Does your I don't think we talked about this, but do your digital, your thermals or your night visions, do they do distance?
500 yards. So our night vision, the Noctis series have basically, we didn't talk about this, I guess.
You got a rangefinder on them?
No, well, there's a range finding bracket in there. So that you put in a white-tailed deer, it knows the known height of average known height of a white-tailed deer from ground to shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so X4. So that's in there. But also, so basically, if you look at our Noctis series as a computer, and you go to the range, you sight in at 50 yards, you change to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. You can put in general dopes and zeros for those. It will put on an eyeball up to 500 yards, whatever distance. You actually dial the distance in the scope. It does all the math for you, and you just hold and shoot. So out to 500 yards, both of those will do the math for you if you take the time to put in the work at the range, right?
Nice. Very good. Yeah, I would like to see a rangefinder from you guys. That would be nice.
I think probably next year we'll have a rangefinder. And I'm hoping maybe some. I would like to have some smart binoculars out next year. So that's. I think next year we'll have something. Hopefully, at SHOT Show we'll have something for that.
Okay, nice. So that's pretty ambitious. That's just a few months away.
Well, hey, if we can release 6 new products from nothing, I'm sure we can do 2 or 3. 2 or 3 between now and then. So we've got a good team, man. We don't sleep very much, and we have a lot of 2 a.m. calls because one of us has an idea. But it's been exciting and the best ride I've been on in my short professional experience. I could not be happy with my team and my company. It's been
so you guys are like 4 years old, somewhere around 4 years old or so. Based out of Texas.
Yeah, we're based in North Central Texas. We're in Carrollton, Texas, which is basically Dallas. We live all over. A lot of us drive about 80 miles or so to get to the office, but we are based in Dallas, Texas.
Nice. So, as far as the technology goes, with the the thermal, the night vision, what can you talk about that goes into yours? What kind of technology are you using for that?
So yeah, that is kind of our secret sauce, right? Well, I'll tell you. So what we do is, and it's no secret that there are only a few thermal core manufacturers in the world, right? So most of your companies are going to be using the same general cores. What we do is take those and we tweak them, right? We say, all right, how can we make it better? How can we change out this resistor and change this processor here? And we just make all of our changes, and that's what really makes our stuff different than everybody else. Is that we're not just taking what we're being sold. We're taking that, making that better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're not just taking the super. We're taking the super, putting all the bells and whistles on it, and then we're going to put it to market. That's what takes us a little bit longer. So that's kind of one of the things is we're basically tweaking what's already there to make it faster and better.
Yeah.
Right, and then taking display screen that no one else is using as well too.
So, are there some sort of government regulations as far as what you guys can talk about with your optics or not? Because I invited another night optic company to come on the show, and they basically cited that, you know, it's illegal for us to come on and talk about our product. I was like, okay, that sounds stupid.
I don't like. I think, oh, it's classified, or I can't talk about that. Here's what, from my understanding.
And, you know, and I understand talking about, like you said, secret sauce stuff. You know, in-house stuff.
So in-house stuff is one thing that you don't release certain manufacturers of this. So you're like, oh, I didn't know that guy was making that. Maybe I can get it from him too, right? So that's kind of stuff. But on the flip side, there are things that you can say that can be just make things more difficult for the manufacturing process. And I've learned that just, being around the right people and having the right conversations. So you do have to be careful what you say, because there's haters out there. They're like, oh, caught that. They're going to go make phone calls.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But as far as citing that, it's government regulations we can't come on and talk about, it sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. So.
Yeah, no. If they are
and maybe they're a government contractor too. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Maybe it's my cynic game. Every time someone says something, especially in our space, like, I can't talk about it's classified. Knowing all the people that I do know that have done the real secret squirrel shit, right? And they say something, I'm like, you're full of shit,
Yeah.
And I shouldn't do that, but it's kind of like my first go-to. I'm like, yeah.
Well, that was the vibe I was getting too. It's just like, just say you don't want to do the show. If you don't want to do the show, just say it. Don't give me some bullshit.
I said no to a lot of shows before release, because we didn't have anything to sell. I don't like marketing things I don't have. I hate
absolutely, and that makes sense too. Yeah.
Yeah,
but this is a very well-known company, that established and been doing it for years, and whatever. Anyway, I just want to run that by you. It's like, okay, you're not breaking any kind of laws or violating. I'm not putting your company in jeopardy by having you on here, are we? Yeah.
No, and that would be no.
Okay, good.
No, we're good. But thanks for checking in.
As we're almost 2 hours into this, then I check.
Yeah, right. This is a lot.
It's like, oh, sorry, man. Never mind. We can't talk about this. Yeah. Can the show?
No, but man, once again, man, I can't thank you enough for having us on in such short.
No, absolutely, man. This has been
to have you come to Texas and go hunt with us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that one and trying it out. And if you've got some hunts or something. Speaking of, you do have a hunt coming up.
We do tomorrow. We leave at 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Talk about
it. We're taking our crew who've been working their ass off, man, the past 2 years. We're taking them on our first helicopter hog hunt tomorrow. So we're actually so I'm pretty excited about it.
That's going to be awesome.
We've got the GoPro mounts, the new 360 GoPro mounts we're going to put on the helmets. We've been working with the guys at Hardhead Veterans, and we've got this rig set up. So I'm hoping we get some really cool footage of just lightning into the pigs. But here's the thing: I don't know if you've been following the weather. It's been raining for about 3 months in Texas, so we could get rained out tomorrow.
Last 2 days here, it's been really coming a downpour, but hopefully you'll get some good weather. Are you gonna try to do a night one also?
No, so typically with helicopters, you do that in the day just for safety reasons.
Yeah.
But no, we'll be doing that in the day. You just kind of round them up and you chase them in.
Are you going to be using which scope? You going to be using the one you got right there? Is that going to be yours? You going to use the 1-8?
I'll be running this with the OSS can, and we will. We might, depending on how good it gets, if you get to where there's a lot of pigs, we might bring the shotguns out just because why not?
I haven't heard of the shotguns from the helicopter.
Yeah, if you get close enough, you get a good shotgun, especially a 3-gun setup with some slugs. You're dropping them.
Nice.
You're gonna roll them.
So this will be your first one?
It is my first one too. Yeah, it's actually everybody except for Ann Lee's first hunt.
Sweet, that'll be fun. So definitely let me know how that goes.
I'm sure I'll be sending some pictures from the chopper tomorrow.
Yeah, do that. All right, so I've got this line of questions that I ask people's first time on the show. I call it
new guy, and sometimes a girl. Questions.
Because we have females on the show too, so we can't exclude them. So, Brandon, you mentioned earlier that you were a vet. So talk about a little bit about your military background.
Yeah, I'm a geek, man. Outdoor tech geeks. My Instagram handle. I've been a geek since day one. So I actually joined the Air Force, and I was in avionics, working in communication navigations on some of the heavy aircraft. It was a good time. I really enjoyed. My entire family's military. My entire life, you're going to be military. I actually thought I was going to be a Marine up until the very last moment and joined the Air Force because of some jobs I wanted to try out. Right, so. They got me, and I became, an airman, and I'm super, super proud to be part of the Air Force. It's fun to give each other so much hell about it. So
that's kind of how you got involved with this tech stuff, with the Air Force?
So I did that. I went to work in semiconductors for a little bit. I worked for Texas Instruments, worked for Intel. Going back to the geek stuff, realized it too boring for me, and then I went into just kind of entrepreneurs and starting businesses, and went into tech startups, and did pretty well there. That's kind of what led me to. Actually, my wife introduced me to Accufire from a meetup event. She met someone out because she's also a COO. So, yeah.
Very cool. So, how many years did you serve?
4 years. So, 6 years, and then total. So I did 6 years total.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service. Appreciate that.
My pleasure. Up at a beautiful Fairchild Air Force Base in Spokane, Washington. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I missed it up there.
Did you go overseas?
Yeah, I went to Kyrgyzstan a couple times, Manas, Kyrgyzstan, which is kind of a hub for the refuelers over there that are helping out with the forward operating stuff. It was a really interesting place to live. So I learned a lot of Russian and Chinese at the same time, and met some really interesting people. So it was a cool place to be.
Are you originally from Texas?
I am, born and raised just north of Dallas, in a suburb called Garland. I grew up right there,
Okay.
Big football school.
So you're probably born with a gun in your hand then.
Yeah. As long as it's kind of what you do. Is you go hunt with your 30-30, get knocked out of a tree, you get laughed at. That's what we grew up hunting, fishing, and doing all that stuff.
What's your earliest recollection of shooting a firearm?
It was my very first gun I ever shot. I was 8 years old. It was my grandfather's 30-30. A lever action, and I remember it hurting really bad. I was in a tree stand at a deer. It threw me out. That was the first rifle I remember shooting. And I remember, oddly enough, after all that, first thing I thought about was like, I want to do that again. Do it again. Yeah, you could never shoot it up. How many rounds we shoot at the Iraq Veteran 888 range day? Right, 250,000 rounds, and still all of us were like, "Hey, can we shoot some more?"
Oh yeah, it's like we're out. What happened?
But yeah,
well, that's why they're going to do it again in October. Did you see that?
We'll be there. Yep. Well, I told Brandy we are there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just got that the other day, and I want to show everybody what I got. The swag bag. I said I was going to do it last episode, so I'll do it this episode when we get through this line of question, and I think I'll give it away. I think I'm going to give it away to one of our listeners, and
great swag in there.
I'm going to come up with a good way for somebody to win that. But you're going to like it. I think it's got a lot of cool stuff. I've not looked at it yet, so I don't know what's in it. I've just heard people talk what's in there. You showed one. You got a grip or something?
Yeah, I'll show it.
A mean grip.
Yeah, it's the mean grip. Yeah, it's a
AR grip there. Yeah,
it's I think I'll say it's thinner than I'm used to, but the tactility of it, it's a nice grip. I'm actually pretty excited to run through its paces this weekend.
So you got a storage
on the helicopter, actually.
There you go.
What's that?
Do you got storage in the bottom of it, or is it just hollow?
It does not have storage. Yeah, it's hollow.
Just hollow.
It's not as wide, but yeah, we'll see how it works out. If not,
okay.
I'll switch back to the mag-pool.
Cool. So you were around 8. Is that what you said when you shot the 30-30?
Yep.
That was your grandpa's?
It was my grandpa's with my uncle, yeah.
Okay. Is your grandpa still alive?
No, he died right around that time.
I'm sorry to hear that. I was going to say, do you still have access to that 30-30?
No, I don't. So that's the thing too. I don't really have access to a lot of my childhood stuff, which would have been kind of cool. I would say 90% of my collection is stuff that I've gotten in my adult life. And I'd say in the past probably 20, being in the military and also moving around a lot, I didn't really there's no reason to have guns at the time. You know, especially being Navy honest. I just didn't need it. So I had my Glock that I carried everywhere, my 1911, and a couple of my great grandfather's stuff. But other than that, everything now is all the new stuff. And of course, it's like everybody else. I can't help but keep swapping and trading, So,
what was the first gun that you bought for yourself that you spent your hard-earned money on?
It was a Taurus Millennium Pro. It was the first thing I bought. And I had a couple Glocks given to me, but the first gun I bought, I remember I just wanted a good budget carry gun. I went and bought a Taurus Millennium Pro 45, and it was a lot to handle.
Do you still have it?
I do. Yes.
Nice.
I have that one. Yeah, it's somewhere in the gun room behind me. But yeah,
there you go. You'll always hold on to that one because that was the first one, right?
Yep, it was. And my first rifle that I actually bought for myself, it was a Tikka 270. It was a Tikka T3 270.
Yeah.
And I remember that with a little Nikon 3x9x40. And I was proud as I killed a deer with it.
Thing will do work, man. It'll do all the work you need it to.
Yeah, I mean, everything you need in Texas is what they say.
So when it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to movie, TV show, music? Maybe it's a magazine. Maybe it's something on social media or something like that, just to kick back and relax and just zone.
You know, I'm a movie person. Actually, if you can see our house, we built I can watch movies all day. I can quote movies. I've got a movie problem. True story. I met my wife on a movie set. There was a brief time in my life I wanted to be a stuntman, and I tried to be a stuntman, and that's how I met my wife.
You trying to be a stuntman? Yeah. Tell the story. I want to hear this.
Oh man. Long story short, you know, remember the show The Fall Guy back when we were younger with Lee Majors.
Lee Majors, yeah, the $6 Million Man. I used to watch that. Exactly. Heather, what was the blonde chick? Wasn't it Heather something? Heather Locklear.
Yeah. Is it Heather Locklear?
Heather Locklear, yeah, she was bad. Bad to the bone.
My wife's name is Heather. True story. Anyway, so I saw that all my life. It's like, I want to be a stuntman. Met a couple stunt people just throughout different random encounters. Went to a stunt school, met a few guys, and then moved back to Texas and did some westerns. The first western I did, I fell, hurt my neck. That's where I met my wife. She was a production assistant, and that was basically the beginning and the end of my stunt career when I broke my neck on the first movie that I ever did.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But it was a good time. And I've done a few, there it is. I've done a few small short films and stuff like that along the way.
What was the name of the movie?
The one that I did?
Yeah.
It's called, I think it's called Hell's Fury now. It was called Reach for the Sky. But what I was saying is that I'm a huge Western fan. Right, so to be able to be in a Western, that's it right there. That's actually, I'm on the cover. I made the cover of that one.
Oh yeah.
See me? Yeah, that's see the guy right there. Yep, that's me.
This one?
That's my mug right there.
See if I can make it bigger. Do you get royalties for that?
Well, man, that movie made, I would say, negative money. It was the guy.
They had to pay people to go see it, huh?
Oh, it was awful, man. It was fun though. But I met my wife on that. But let's just say, my favorite movie of all time is actually a movie called Open Range because I love westerns. So that's, and for someone who I can watch that movie. Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall. It's just.
I've probably seen that. Oh.
Yeah. So here's I love about westerns and all gunslinger, all gunfighter action movies. There's at the end of it, there's the main good guy and the main the bad guy's right hand is the badass fighter. There's always this big fight scene.
Right.
In this movie, spoiler alert, right? You have Kevin Costner walks up to their guy. I think his name is Rico, and he says, "Hey, are you the man that is right before the big gunfight? Right? It's almost like right before OK Corral. Doc Holiday walking up to somebody. He said, "Are you the man that killed my friend?" He said, "Yeah, I shot your dog too." No action, no words, no trash talking. Kevin Costner just clears the leather, puts that barrel to his head, and pulls the trigger. I'm like, That is how it should be. No run your mouth, and they
just throw down. No warning.
Yeah. That's the way it should be. You shoot my friend, I sure did. All right, you're dead. You know?
I don't need any other explanation.
That was the end of the conversation. So anyway, Open Range is the one movie that I tend to watch a lot, and of course Boondock Saints, just because it's generational and it's
right. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Horrible. Everything about it is awful as far as the tactical aspects of it, but it's a good movie.
You know what I started watching again?
What's that?
Justified.
That's actually a pretty good series.
I haven't watched it in years, and I just started watching it again from episode 1 the other day. I think I'm like on 6 or 7 right now of season 1, but I forgot how good that was.
Did you ever watch The Shield?
I haven't done that yet. I've heard that's a great series too.
That's one of my favorites, just because Michael Chiklis. The thing about that is it actually, usually when they wrap a series, they don't wrap it. It's usually awful. They wrap this one, in my opinion, really well.
Yeah.
And then music, man. I hate to admit this in public, but I'm actually a choir nerd. So music is I just love music. Any good music, I'll listen to it. I don't have a genre I listen to, and I listen to.
I like variety. I'm variety on my music. I like a little bit of everything.
Everything from death metal to James Taylor. It's
Barbara Streisand, man. I even listened to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
With the Bee Gees, that one she sang with what's his name, the Bee Gee dude. That was good. I can't remember what it is right now.
I can hear his voice.
Yeah. Barry Gibb.
Right
Barry, I think it was Barry.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Barry Gibb. Yeah, that's right. And then you asked something else on that one too. Food, Mexican food, obviously, because I'm Texan. I just like food. We eat a lot of food in our office. We always try to find the best restaurants.
I'm glad you brought up food, because I don't normally ask people about the food.
I'm always thinking about food, I guess. Yeah, every time we go somewhere, we do research. As a matter of fact, we were at the range day. We drove 30 to 45 minutes every day to find food somewhere close to the range day, so we could try some new food out.
Something new. Did you find anything interesting?
Yeah, and I wish as soon as you asked that, I went blank. But we found a restaurant place. It was about 30 miles away, or 30 minutes away. And I can't think of the name of it, but it was actually really good. It was in a really nice town, and I can't think of the name of it in my life right now.
We stayed in, I think it was Anderson, just across the border in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Were you on the lake?
Yeah, we stayed on the lake.
I feel like just about all of us stayed on the lake. We should next year all get together and throw a big party.
Or October. Going back in October.
We fished. Yeah, we'll be there. We fished a lot when we were there.
Yeah, so my buddy has a house there, and they've got a boat, and they do all that. And when we come up every year, we stay there with them.
Oh, that's
nice. Makes it convenient and nice. But we I can't remember where we ate, but it was some local restaurant there, and we ordered it for takeout. And they had like seafood, steaks, everything. You get anything you wanted.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. Kind of like a mom and pop kind of place, but
yeah,
it was good.
The best.
It was primo. All right, next question. Is there or has there been maybe a firearm or piece of kit or just anything that maybe you're a bit ashamed to admit that you own?
Taurus Millennium Pro.
That's not as bad as some I've heard.
Not really. I mean, I've got some. So the thing about it is, I really don't want to talk crap about any of the manufacturer. I've got some things that I don't necessarily take out of the bags they're in. Just they're there for emergencies.
Yeah.
My wife has a little 25. It's pure chrome that stays in the truck. I'm pretty ashamed of that, because it's pure chrome.
That's a toss gun.
It's fun to shoot. Yeah, it's a fun little pop gun to shoot. That's probably my wife's 25. That's probably the one I'm most.
So for the longest, I was embarrassed or ashamed to admit that I collected G.I. Joes.
Why? That's amazing.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like mixed company, you just don't. Hey, I collect. I don't anymore. I used to. I had like one of the largest G.I. Joe collections in the United States.
From like the 90s or the 70s?
The 80s, 90s, the 3 3/4 inch.
Oh, the good ones.
Yeah, I talked about it last episode, so go back, Leadheads, listen to that, and you can talk about.
I had a GI Joe issue myself, so but obviously I didn't collect them. I blew mine up and did stupid stuff with them.
Well, I did that when I was younger, and it was just the fact that there was a whole lot more made than I was ever made aware of. You know, like a 7-foot. Did you know there was a 7-foot aircraft carrier that they made?
No.
Yes. So when I got older, you know, when I was in my 20s, I discovered this, and I was like, I got to have this stuff. So I made it my mission to have everything that they ever made in multiples. I had 3 aircraft carriers.
That's really cool.
At one time, yeah.
Have you seen the G.I. Joe PSA spoofs?
It's been a while, yeah.
I highly recommend going looking those up. Like, there's some. It's you know. This is back in the early days of viral videos and memes.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Is this where they used the actual figures and they were doing the? Yes.
No. These are the old G.I. Joe cartoon PSAs they used to have.
But they've got spoofs on them.
They dub over them. Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen those. I got to see that.
It's worth just be ready for the next couple hours of laughter.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
It's super inappropriate. Super inappropriate.
That's my favorite. That's a rabbit hole. I'm writing that down. Very cool. All right, so what is your next? It's like, this is on my list right now. As soon as I get the opportunity, I'm going out and I'm buying it.
Oh, that one, man, that's a challenge. So it's between right now. I'm more likely, I've been working with some people. I'm probably going to be getting a 6.5 gas gun. Just for I want to make that my new pig gun, and I'm real big about
Grendel or Creedmoor.
Creedmoor.
Okay.
I would like to, and the reason for that is I want to be able to shoot distance with it as well. I like multifunctional. You know, I want to be able, 3-gun with this and go shoot pigs. I want to go PRS match and then go shoot pigs. So that's where I'm kind of trying to go after. So I'm thinking that'll be it. And also, frankly, and Lee got one. I got to shoot it. I'm like, crap, now I need one too. So I'm thinking a 6.5 gas gun will probably be my next purchase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this one you're going to build yourself, or you're going to get a pre-manufactured one?
It depends. I'm talking to a couple people that are working on some. We might let someone build one for us. That's one of the fun things about being in the industry is getting to meet people that are working on
absolutely.
Cool stuff.
Collaborations, man. Collaborations. It's the best thing.
It's all about. God knows we're all broke.
So I've got this. I've got this AR that's got. It's called the LEO system, and it's one of those where you can. It's a quick barrel change adapter, and you can pop off one, put in the other if it requires a bolt change, and you change the bolt, whatever. But I've got one set up for 5.56, 300 blackout, and 6.5 Grendel.
Have you looked at the I believe it's a 6 millimeter arc or 6.5 arc? Have you looked at that yet?
No.
So it's a new round they developed, from my understanding, specifically for hog hunting and for kind of stuff like that. But it's using the AR-15 frame, 6.5 Grendel cartridges with just a different barrel. But from my understanding, significant amount more knockdown than what they currently have.
The Grendel does pretty damn good.
It does. I think the thing with Grendel is you lose speed at distance pretty quickly. Where this one, you still keep that out to, you still keep that impact or that kinetic energy out to distance. Out from my understanding to 1,000 yards.
And it's called the ARC.
ARC. A-R-C.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it's 6.5 or 6 millimeter arc. But some of the guys at Hornady were telling us about it.
Well, let's just do this right quick. Let's see if that's it. Hornady, 6 millimeter. It's like it says 6 millimeter arc.
That's it. Yep.
Let's see what they say about it here. Yeah, that looks like a Grendel. Is my screen still shared?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that one. I'm not familiar with it. Here it is. Here's a good comparison right here. It's got the 6.5, the 308, and the 223. The velocity comparison. Very cool. Good tip. So, Leadheads, if any of you are familiar with the 6 millimeter arc, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and let me know what you know about it if you've tried it out. Be
curious. And here, forward that over to me. So I'm interested too. I'm definitely intrigued by this. I don't know how much can be shared, but there is some cool stuff over there.
All right, next question. Money be damned, laws be damned. What would you own? Anything. No limits.
Just one thing to rule them all?
Whatever it leads to. What just popped in your head? Something just popped in your head, I could tell. So what was it?
I want a short barrel suppressed Benelli M4. It's something I've always wanted. I've seen a couple of them, and it's just something about that to me just would be the perfect gun to do anything I need to do.
Think bigger. Think bigger. Laws be damned. Money be damned. Sky's the limit. You could own anything, and you're going to buy a Benelli? Come on. You could go out and buy one of those today, dude.
Oh, then that's easy then. A fully armored Land Cruiser. Fully armored Land Cruiser, fully stocked, snorkel, armored front to back. Maybe even if you have some mounted turrets on the back too.
Nice.
I've wanted a Land Cruiser for a while, and a fully armored one would be a dream come true. So maybe one day Accufire does one real well. So that'll be my retirement gift to myself.
Very good. There you go. I like that. That's a good answer. Would you do like a brand new one, or would you do like a certain year that you like better?
And for it, money be damned, I'd probably go with a brand new one.
Go brand new one? You wouldn't kit out like an old 70s one and just make it just badass as hell?
I mean, that would be great, but I can be comfortable. If I'm rich, why not be comfortable too, right?
There you go. There you go. Why make it a Land Cruiser? Why not just get a tank?
That's true.
Oh, that's good. That's a good answer. I like that. Are you a motorhead also? You get into vehicles?
A little bit. Not as much as I'd like to. Everybody on my team are actually really big 4Runner guys. We got a couple of Gen 4 and Gen 3 guys, and they're deep in that industry. I had an 88 K5 Blazer I just sold, so I've always had. Yeah, I miss it a lot. I put a 383 stroker motor into it, and that was going to be my baby, but Accufire became my baby and got rid of that.
Yeah.
And I'd like to own a late 60s, actually either a late 60s Bronco, maybe early 70s International. Again, I had an International Scout 2 for a while. I love that.
Sweet.
I love those old, they're tanks. Man.
My dad had one of those growing up.
Scout?
Yeah, old International Scout. I think it was like it had to have been 70 something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we took it everywhere, man. We went on places that didn't have roads, made our own roads. And I mean, you're talking ruts that were, taller than I was at the time, 3 feet or bigger. And we're just going through it and handling it no problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't comfortable, but it was,
No.
It gets you through it.
The Blazer was not comfortable. My kids loved it. My kids loved that thing.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, nowadays with the technology and all the stuff that you can do to them.
Yeah.
If I had that one, I wouldn't restore it to original. I would beef it up. I would put nice plush interior in there because it was like sitting on a milk crate. It was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, just kind of modernize it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last question.
All right.
If you could spend the day at the range with anyone, any group of people, fictional, dead, still alive, who would it be?
This was it might be silly to a lot of people, but mine's always been, because where I live too, George Bush Jr. or W, he's a big mountain biker. He lives in this area. So I've always, if I ran into him, I would grab a beer with him. So I think if I could spend a day at the range with him, it's nothing political. I just had a few runs with him. He just seems like a guy I'd like to get to know and just spend time with him, and then maybe grab
He does seem like he'd be fun to hang out with.
He does. And so much I want to know, it's just like, man, how do you deal, just a lot of stuff outside of politics. I would like to, I think, spend the day with him at the range. Would be a good time.
Good answer. That's the first time anybody said W.
Plus, I'm a Texas Rangers fan too, so That probably has something to do
Doesn't
with
he
it.
own them? Does he still own them?
He used to, not anymore. I think he still goes to a lot of games, but he's no longer, from my understanding, no longer an owner.
I got you. Yeah. I hadn't heard from him in a while. I wonder what he's up to.
No, he's an artist now. I think he's just kind of enjoying being an artist.
Kind of like Hitler. Did you know Hitler was an artist?
I feel like, have you watched Apocalypse 45 yet?
Apocalypse 45.
It's about the Pacific War in World War II. It's really good. I highly recommend it. I just watched it recently. I can't see it, it's blurry.
That's not it. I don't know. I'll look it up. But what is it about again?
So it's basically about the Pacific War, and it was basically to show that no matter what we did in that war, the Japanese would not surrender, right? And they would have fought, and and there's just a lot of really good footage from the Pacific conflict.
Okay.
Which is
I like
really cool.
docuseries and things like that. Historical stuff. That'd be a good one. I was gonna say something. So I learned that through watching Justified. The last episode that I watched, the villain guy he collected Adolf Hitler art.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I assume it's correct.
I put you down a rabbit hole. I figured you went down a rabbit hole of research on that after that one.
No, I didn't at all. I just watched Justified and just took their word for it that he did. But the dude was collecting it to burn it.
Oh, okay.
So he wasn't like a huge fan. He actually was the opposite. He hated it and he wanted to get rid of all the stuff that Hitler did. So anyway, so there you go, man. Brandon, you did it. You made it through the Talking Lead podcast. Made it through the new guy questions, but we've got one more for you. And I promised you that we would do this. We want to bust a myth. Now it's time for the Talking Lead
Fact to fight the myths.
So you've got a fact to fight the myth that deals with optics, thermals, night vision. So let's bust this myth and educate the uneducated.
Well, I was thinking about this earlier. So I think the one thing, and this is specifically related to infrared scopes. So one of the things that we have heard, and we've heard people say, is that a good infrared scope will work at night on a full moon at any distance without a infrared light, and that is not correct. A lot of people say there's enough infrared light coming off of the sun from the moon that you can be able to see at night, and that is absolutely not correct. If you can see at night without infrared, that means you're using the tube or the white phosphorus style night vision, and those you can see without an infrared light. Now, using an infrared light helps with that. It's like a spotlight, right? But you can see with tube night vision, but you can't use that during the day, right? So that's the biggest, I think, misconception, is that infrared and night vision are the same thing, and could not be further from the opposite. Now, infrared does help night vision, is why sometimes I think that gets confused, is because infrared does increase that, but night vision can work without infrared, and infrared cannot work without infrared. So if that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. Right. So that is a great little nugget, educating the uneducated here on Talking Lead, for us to wrap this up with. So, Brandon, one more time, give everybody the location where they can go check out Accufire, follow you guys on the social medias, all that good stuff. If you've got events coming up that you're going to be at, maybe they can attend and meet you in person.
Absolutely. So, thing else will come out. We have OTOA, Ohio Tactical Officer Association, the NTOA, and then all the Texas Trophy Hunter shows. We'll be at all those. And then obviously back at the Iraq Veteran 888 event in October. But anywhere you look, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Accufire Tech, you can find us. You can reach out to me directly on Instagram. It's Outdoor Tech Geek. If you have any questions, feel free to email us directly, info@accufiretech.com. But that is us. Anywhere you see that logo, the Accufire logo right there, that is us. And feel free to reach out. If you call us, our number's on there. If someone does not answer that number, if someone's not at the office, that number goes right to my cell phone. So feel free to give us a call, and we'll take care of you if you have any questions about anything.
Very cool. And here's their Facebook. Follow them on Facebook. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, here's their Instagrams. I'm clicking on it right now.
Yeah, look at it. See that lever action? Is that not beautiful?
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Whose is that?
Wolf Prairie. We met them at Range Day, too.
I like that.
Isn't that gorgeous? That's a takedown.
Who makes that?
There are a lot of people that they source that, but that Wolf Prairie, those guys I've reached out to them. They were at the Range Day.
Okay. I don't think I met them.
They're sharp guys. So we're really excited about doing some collabs with them to see what we can do. Because I love that setup.
Yeah. That thermal on there is sexy. I like that.
It's something about that, old meets new.
Old school with new tech. It kind of looks like something out of Star Wars, where they took the old World War II guns and made them look futuristic. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
The Mando's new weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Mando's new rifle. I like that. And then you got a YouTube channel also, and you've got some videos.
Yes, sir. And we're releasing new videos every week too. So
okay.
And we've actually got reviews coming out from Iraq Veteran 888, Mr. Guns and Gear, and also from Top Shot Dustin.
Okay, cool. Top Shot Dustin. Yeah, he's been on the show before.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy. And also, 4MR Ranch did one that's a 36-minute review that is it's very detailed review of the thermal and gives you all kinds of images and pictures and all that good stuff as well.
Who, say that name, who did it?
4MR Ranch. It's not on our channel, it's on his channel.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Did he do the Incendis?
He did the Incendis, and he put a lot of work into that review, and I'm really thankful for it.
Nice. Did he do Did he do a video attachment to it where he could record?
He did. He also did some stuff through the lens itself. So he used, I believe, a Tacticam so you can see what it looks like. He got some good kill footage. Went through the menu functions. He actually did a better job than we did, so I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what he used because I'm going to want to hook some kind of camera or something up to mine so I can record too.
Yeah, we've been using 3D night vision. It's a pretty good one, but I'll get you linked up with that.
Okay, very cool. So there you go, lead heads. Check out Accufire. Definitely go buy their products. You can do that through, I guess you guys are at dealers. Let's see a dealer locator here.
Yeah, that's what we actually prefer that. If you've got a local dealer, reach out to us and have that dealer reach out to us. We'll make sure that dealer takes care of you in your first order. We're really big about, we want to build relationships with the dealers. That's going to be the best way for us to build regional relationships as well too. So, please do make introductions to your favorite dealer or someone you think should be carrying our stuff.
And can they buy through you direct?
Absolutely. Yep. You can buy directly from our website.
Okay. So there you go, lead heads. And we don't have a code set up with them yet, but maybe in the future we can get a lead head discount code set up with you guys.
We can get that set up as soon as we get off the phone.
Okay. We'll definitely do that. But in the meantime, lead heads, make sure you go and support all those companies that are making this show possible each and every week, sometimes more often. Let me switch my camera back here to the screen. We've got Factory 47. We were talking about our AK Corner. They make all of our AK Corner t-shirts, hoodies, and even the tumblers, which I don't have. I'm usually drinking from my AK Corner tumbler. This is our normal talking leady. We call these leadies, Brandon.
I see what you did there.
It's not for a snowflake. It's keep your drinks seconds colder than one of those Yetis. It's the talking leady. is what we call them. But go to Factory 47. It's FAKTORY 47.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. Get 10% off our shirts. It's going to have this logo on it. And then on the back, he's got all the AK factory like symbols and stuff on the back. It's really cool. It's two-sided print on the hoodies, T-shirts, and our mugs. And we even have women's shirts there too. Factory47.com. 1776 United, which I'm wearing one of their shirts right now. Hashtag guns allowed. Move my microphone. You can get cool shirts.
I got a bunch of their patches. I really like those guys.
Yeah, very, very patriotic company. 1776 United, they make our patches, the Lead Head Brigade patches. So you can go there and get those. And then, of course, they make our classic Talking Lead logo T-shirts. And they even have the Lead Head Brigade logo T-shirts at 1776united.com and use the code TALKINGLEAD. And it's all lowercase. You're going to get 20% off there at 1776 United. And then Nemo Arms, one of our newest sponsors to the Talking Lead podcast. Nemo Arms makes very high-end rifles, shotguns, pistols. They're doing suppressors at Nemo Arms. And you can use the code TL10. And you're going to get 10% off any of your purchase from Nemo Arms. That includes their firearms, which is pretty cool. Unheard of in today's time. But their shotguns, if you've not checked them out, Brandon, go check them out. Nemo Arms, heirloom quality shotguns there, man. Very nice, beautifully done, engraved shotguns that they've got.
That's what I was pulling up as you were talking.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Nemo Arms. Check them out. They sent the boat carrier group for the 7.62 that I built. So I'm excited to try that out. I still haven't had an opportunity to take it out. We had the trip to Georgia. It's been raining here, this, that, the other. We had the holiday this weekend, so I haven't had an opportunity to take it out yet, but I am going to.
I like what they have here.
Right?
They got some 300 Win Mags on here. I think it would be really good for some fun.
They are the first AR company to bring out the 300 Win Mag in an AR platform.
I kind of wish I wouldn't have found this.
Well, I can introduce
you. Can I change my answer earlier to what gun I'd like to buy next?
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Nemo Arms. They're beautiful, man. They are absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, Seal1, seal1.net for all your gun cleaning, lubrication, protecting needs. Go to seal1.net and use the code LEADHEAD for 25% off. And go to their social medias on all of our sponsors' social medias. Follow them, let them know how much you appreciate them sponsoring the show, making it possible. Mission First Tactical, missionfirsttactical.com. And again, in the earlier, I explained what's going on with them. Use the code LEADHEAD for 20% off. If it doesn't work, email me, talkinglead@gmail.com, and we'll make sure that we get you that 20% off any of their products there. And again, these discount codes are for non-like sale items and clearance items and stuff like that. But the regular price, you're going to get the benefit of that discount code. Nutrient Survival. We had them on a few episodes ago. They've got some really good survival food. It's nutritious for you, and it tastes good too. 14 vitamins, 14 minerals, 9 amino acids, protein, omega-3, omega-6, fiber, 40 essential nutrients. So you're not just getting calories in their survival food. You're getting healthy, sustainable nutrition. So great for long-term storage food. So for you preppers, this is ideal for that. They even have single serving packs, or they have the big cans that you can serve. You can store quantities. But the stuff tastes good. I've tried it. Tried all their stuff. They've got new flavors out that I haven't tried yet. You can go to their website, nutrientsurvival.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. Try to make it easy. Leadhead's pretty much across the board, 10% off at Nutrient Survival. And I think that's all the codes we got right now. If I missed some, you go to one of our sponsors, one of our friends of the show. If Leadhead doesn't work or Talking Lead doesn't work, let me know, and if we don't have one, we'll try to get one set up. And then, of course, Kel-Tec for the NRA in Houston. You guys are going to be there, right?
Hope so. Waiting to hear back from the NRA.
Okay, you should go anyway. You should just go to attend.
Oh, we'll do that. Yeah,
and then you can hang out with us at the Kel-Tec booth. because they are going to be the official lead quarters for the 2021 NRA, hosting the lead quarters. Our studio will be set up there, and we've got special shirts. We've got special dump trays with new different logos. I showed the new logo that we're going to be using on the last episode with Jason Spar. It's instead of this bullet, the bullet microphone that we've got there, we've got a Kel-Tec P50 that's going to be replacing that. And they've got this logo that we designed for them. It's going to be really cool shirts, dump trays and all that we're going to be giving away. So if you're there, come by. If we've got any left, we'll hook you up. But first come, first serve as far as those go. But if you come, let me know, and I'll pull you one back, Brandon.
Sounds good, man.
Pull you back a shirt.
No, that's that.
All right, lead heads. That does it for another episode of the Talking Lead Podcast. Until the next episode, as always, keep your loved ones close.
Your firearm closer, your optic always sighted in.
And use that thermal from Accufire.
Thanks, Lefty.